When our mind cannot explain what our eyes see, we turn to scientists and experts for help. But sometimes, even the brightest minds cannot unravel the mysteries of nature or mystical phenomena that sometimes get caught on camera. We can only speculate about the diversity of the universe. You are watching Top Facts, and let's together take a look at photos that have stumped the experts. Here will be animals unknown to science, objects, supernatural phenomena, and giant fingers. Enjoy your viewing, and let's go. These photographs scared the world. Who would not be terrified by a frame in which 3 people are flying through the sky? You will, of course, immediately dismiss such a possibility. But what do you know about bioengineering? One of the most enticing prospects for the future is the idea that people might eventually evolve to fly. Birds took millions of years to develop light bones, special muscles, and wings, but humans are built differently. Bioengineering poses the question, can we go through genetic manipulations to acquire superpowers? Judging by this photo, someone has already succeeded. A 1920 photograph caused a lot of controversy. It shows a New York City police officer literally hanging in the air on a beam of a skyscraper being built over Times Square. The view is beautiful, but if you've ever hung from a tree and looked down, then this cop's nerves must be stronger than the very beam he's holding on to. By the way, a reasonable question. Was the photographer also hanging in the air? His name is unknown, but theoretically, he must have been secured somewhere. Both hands are occupied during photography. The picture looks as authentic as the stunts of contemporaries of the silent movie era. We know that such artists as Harold Lloyd or Buster Keaton performed them independently. Everything was real. Likely, the photo is real, and it shows a similar daring number performed by a policeman or pilot, which the frame hints at. If it's a staging, then it has 3 options: wallpapers in the background, a safety net, or copy-paste commands on the keyboard. In this photo from 1887, the grand construction of the world-famous masterpiece, the Eiffel Tower, is depicted. The structure consists of 4 iron supports that bend and meet at the top, forming something like a pyramid. The columns are connected to each other with horizontal beams and diagonal arched braces, creating a lattice structure. This extremely stable framework looks quite airy. It's strange that such a huge tower was built by only 300 people in 2 years. At that time, it became the tallest structure in the world with a height of 300 meters. How was it possible to achieve such speed using the resources of that era, which are in no comparison with today's construction technologies? And even here, there were mystical interpretations. Someone spread a rumor that the idea and design of the tower was an extraterrestrial gift, presented by aliens several hundred years ago, or that those 300 builders possessed supernatural power. I'm not sure about either hypothesis, but there's definitely some magic in Gustav Eiffel's tower. The St. Augustine Lighthouse in St. Augustine was built in 1874 and has undergone many changes since then. The wooden watchtower was erected by Spanish settlers at the end of the 16th century, and later, as demanded by time, the current lighthouse was erected on the same site. For decades, it played a crucial role in safe navigation along the treacherous waters of the Florida coastline. With the advent of the 20th century and the arrival of technologies, the traditional role of lighthouses and their keepers began to fade into the past. By the middle of the 20th century, most lighthouses switched to automatic mode, marking the end of an era, but not diminishing their historical and architectural significance. For example, the St. Augustine Lighthouse remains an important tourist attraction, not only for its beauty, but also for its connection with paranormal phenomena. The most intriguing story of this place is the Lady on the Tower. Over the years, visitors have reported seeing a mysterious woman at the top of the lighthouse. She seems to stand there and look out to sea. These testimonies have led to speculation. It was suggested that she might be connected to a former lighthouse keeper, or mourning a lost love. Regardless of the truth, the tale of the Lady on the Tower has become an integral part of St. Augustine's history. Indeed, the lighthouse is that very structure that suits mysteries and ghosts well. A ghost upside down in a family photo is too much even for a fake. This famous and terrifying photo was taken in the year 1950. One of the ladies in the frame is named Joan Cooper, and according to her testimony, nothing strange or scary was happening at that time. The family is at the festive table in a good mood, with children in their arms. Where did the silhouette of a dead man hanging from the ceiling come from? Its appearance only became noticeable during the development of the negative. The story of the photo is as follows. The Cooper family moved to a new house in Texas and decided to celebrate the housewarming. This moment was captured on camera by the head of the family. Then there was no exposure on cameras yet. If it was a prank, then these kids are in for a brilliant acting career. If a ghost, shouldn't they have felt uncomfortable with a corpse on the ceiling? If it's a fake, then it contradicts the laws of gravity. So what is it then? There could well have been an erroneous overlay of frames. The amateur photographer forgot to advance the frame and pressed the button. You probably forgot that cameras used to be manual. A lot had to be done by hand, and often a double shot on one frame yielded strange collages. But who was in the second frame? A ballerina or acrobat in a strange pose, some non-domestic picture. Nevertheless, most of the famous mystical images turned out to be fakes, and only these two guys from the photo can clarify something for us now, although they are probably grandfathers by now. This photograph was taken in the year 1898. It depicts a lady medium known as Eusapia Palladino. The frame was shot during a seance by a French physicist. Palladino claimed to have the ability to communicate with the dead and produce various physical phenomena, including moving objects. Her manipulations, which included glowing hands and levitating tables, raised doubts about their authenticity. But the man who took the photo insisted that this flying table was under strict control. The medium was held by the hands and feet by two assistants. However, despite their efforts, the table rose into the air without any contact with Palladino. The photograph was not processed or altered, and in any case, there were other witnesses at the seance, and besides the table, other wonders were demonstrated. Glowing hands, or a face covered in chalk. Of course, such tricks are controversial evidence of Palladino's power, and some skeptics note the unnatural position of her body in the photo, the absence of shadows under the table, and the possible presence of auxiliary tricks. But who knows? In the mid-90s, a chilling discovery happened in the Ras Al Khaimah cave in the United Arab Emirates. A tourist took a photo capturing a bizarre creature lurking in the depths of the cave. Strangely, after he took the picture, people heard a frightened boy's scream echoing in the darkness. Disturbed by the eerie sight, the tourists reported it to the authorities, and the police were dispatched for a thorough search of the cave. To everyone's horror, near the spot where the photo was taken, they soon stumbled upon a lifeless human body hidden in a crevice. The photo of the mysterious creature quickly went around the world, but the story remains shrouded in doubtful aura. Was the creature in the cave animated, or could it be a light illusion? The dark space is conducive to hallucinations. Then how did the picture, the scream, and the dead body end up connected in one story? No answers to these questions have been heard, and we are still alone with the mystery of the cave spirit. And in this photo, a real ghost, undeniable. There's definitely someone strange here. This photo has become one of the most famous portraits of a ghost. The shot was taken in 1963 by Reverend Kenneth F. Lord in the Church of Christ, the Consoler at Newby Hall, in North Yorkshire, England. When he was photographing, he noticed nothing mystical, but then a creepy, semi-transparent figure appeared in the photo, dressed in the robe of a 16th century monk with a face hidden by a white cloth. Many believe in the authenticity of the photo. It's hard to imagine that someone could dress up like this for a fake. If you compare the scale of the figure with the interior, its height should be about 2.5 meters. Since the legs are not visible, a real person would have had to stand on a platform. Photo experts, having examined the picture, dismissed the possibility of double exposure. In any case, whether true or not, this photo emits a creepy atmosphere. We are not mistaken in that. The picture reeks of grave horror. Hampton Court Palace in England, a grandiose building, which stands apart not only as a historical and architectural wonder, all its halls are filled with stories that will keep you awake at night for many years. In the cold corridors and rooms of this castle, many ghosts reside, each with their own character. Some whisper in corners, some scream piercingly in the dungeons, and some intertwine into the fabrics of tapestries and portraits. All this has been told by both the palace's guards and numerous visitors. A creepy place, isn't it? In these surveillance camera photos from 2003, we see a figure in whimsical clothing. Who knows if the spirit of Henry VII still hasn't left his home? Only for some reason, he was exiting through the fire door, but 3 times no less. For decades, mysterious phenomena have been reported on a quiet road near the border between the American states of Missouri and Oklahoma, baffling locals from both states and travelers. An unknown light suddenly appears, moves, and vanishes here. The hovering lights, sometimes colored, dance, hover like a ghost, and then disappear just as suddenly. Native legends still linger in these parts, with indigenous people interpreting them as the wandering spirits of ancient warriors. Scientists remind us that the lights could be gases or refracted light from distant highways. To this day, the mystery of the ghostly light remains in the hands of photography enthusiasts who try to capture these lights on camera. A mysterious phenomenon occurs on the Mekong River in Asia. There, glowing fireballs known as nagas rise from the water into the sky. There is a scientific theory about their origin, a natural chemical reaction involving methane and phosphine gases, which are released from the riverbed and ignite due to thermal or electrical impulses. There is a non-scientific view insisting that the fireballs are caused by human intervention, just the firing of tracer bullets or signal flares from the opposite side of the river, with no mystique or legends involved. This theory is based on documentary footage. Someone filmed soldiers shooting into the water during a festival. There's another explanation, based on the name of the balls. People believe that nagas arise from a supernatural force, like the breath of a giant serpent named Naga, which, of course, lives in the river. Seriously, the word Naga means a large mythical serpent in many Asian languages, so there is a common root after all. Naga is mentioned in folklore as a sacred and powerful creature that protects and blesses people. But why these balls appear, we still do not know. What do you recognize in this picture? Skunk Ape, a creature that supposedly lives deep in the swamps of Florida. Locals, enthusiasts for spreading rumors about a mysterious bipedal creature that differs little from Bigfoot, but is somehow called Skunk Ape. What distinguishes this species from a hallucination is that when this animal appeared, people nearby sensed a characteristic sharp smell similar to rotten eggs or methane. Everyone remembers how terribly skunks stink? In this image, only a hunched figure with glowing eyes hiding in the bushes is visible. And since this photo appeared online, debates have not ceased. Some recognize this image as irrefutable evidence of the existence of the skunk ape. Military pilots sometimes see more than their combat mission. In 1959, an unusual report came from Colonel Remy van Lierde, a Belgian who was a top-class pilot in the British and Belgian air forces and fought against the Nazis during World War II. He had 6 enemy planes shot down and 44 flying bombs neutralized to his credit, so the colonel could be trusted without a doubt. Flying over the Katanga province in the Belgium-occupied area of the Republic of Congo, he filmed from a helicopter a huge snake, whose length reached at least 50 meters. It must be admitted that these are unprecedented sizes for a snake. He claimed that its triangular head was almost 1 meter in length, and the thickness was more than half a meter. Can you imagine such a monster? Remy circled the snake several times. Its body had a brownish-green coloration, while its belly was white. The pilot claimed that when he approached the snake too closely, it took a threatening pose and raised its head along with part of its body 3 meters above the ground. The largest known species of snakes are the green anaconda, or the African rock python. However, the anaconda is not found in these areas and is quite slow by nature, and this snake, seeing the approaching helicopter, took an attacking pose. The largest local reticulated python was only 3.2 meters long. Could it be some previously unseen new species of snake or king cobra? This spiky suit, covered with spikes, is shrouded in mystery. Do you believe that no one guesses its real purpose? Could it be a hunting suit for bear hunting, used in the 1800s? How else could it be used? Someone suggested that this suit could well serve as a carnival costume at the local Vulture Bird Festival in Basel, Switzerland. This carnival includes pagan rituals and dances on the streets of the city. The most suitable costume for a solo dance, don't you think? If you know what this thing is, please let us know. On a December morning in 2009, residents of northern Norway witnessed an unusual spectacle in the sky. A white spiral of light, accompanied by a blue beam, expanded and rotated, creating an ethereal halo around it. The celestial display lasted for almost 10 minutes before dissipating and caused awe among viewers, subsequently leading to a flurry of speculation. Theories revolved around the involvement of aliens or a new atmospheric phenomenon, but social networks stirred a true frenzy, giving rise to numerous theories. However, the ultimate answer came from an unexpected source. The Ministry of Finance of Russia later confirmed that this event was the result of an unsuccessful test launch of the intercontinental ballistic missile Bulava. The cause was a technological flaw, and the spiral pattern was due to the rotation of the missile and light reflections that created the background. Although the mystery of the Norwegian Spiral anomaly was solved, some speculated that the state tests were just a cover-up for something bigger. Thanks for this clarification as well. In the midst of the vast expanse known as Siberia stands a strange crater resembling a large stone mound with a pronounced hollow center. This structure baffled researchers. No one knows anything about its origin. The lone hill, about 40 meters high and about 100 meters in diameter, does not fit the theory of crater formation. Could it have been the result of a meteorite impact or volcanic activity? Some link its appearance to the explosion of underground gases. Analysis using radiocarbon dating indicates a relatively young geological age for this structure. It appeared about 500 years ago. It is now the subject of active discussions. The indigenous people of the region, the Yakuts, offer their own versions. For them, the crater is a place filled with legends. Some consider it a portal to another world. There are only two possible origins of the crater: the result of Earth's internal forces or cosmic intervention. We will wait for answers to these questions. This photo was taken from the Apollo 17 spacecraft during its last flight to the moon, and the frame captures a place known as Geophone Rock. In NASA's catalog, the image is listed as an empty image, simply a corrupted file. But if you look closely, it is not empty. We clearly see a triangular shadow on the lunar surface, which resembles a pyramid. The anomaly was attempted to be explained as a natural formation on the moon, and there was even a hypothesis that it is a structure, an ancient extraterrestrial structure. But the most scientific explanation leans towards a play of shadows. The lunar surface is very uneven. Its rocky formations can cast whimsical shadows and create optical illusions, which can be interpreted in absolutely different ways depending on the angle. Further analysis of the Apollo 17 images showed that the pyramid could have arisen from the fall of sunlight at a low angle, combined with the features of the topography. But someone still wants to believe that the pyramid is real and that it was created by an extraterrestrial civilization. That way, the truth is more interesting. In the Apollo 14 mission, there remained an unresolved mystery. Let's look at it. In this image, we see a strange blue light at a significant distance. Where could it come from on the moon? According to one theory, Were the lunar lights caused by the reflection of sunlight or a thermal blanket that was lost and went into free space travel? This blue light was so bright that it resembled the glow of a sapphire. And why didn't anyone see it during other missions? And also, why did it move and change shape? There were suggestions that the light was caused by an electrostatic discharge or a plasma phenomenon on the lunar surface. But these are just hypotheses. No scientific explanation for the blue fires on the moon was found. The photo was taken by NASA's rover at the end of 2012. We observe on it a large number of hematite clumps. This is a possible sign of past presence of water on the red planet. Hematite is an iron oxide that forms with the mandatory participation of water. Thus, the gray hematite found here proves the presence of water on Mars in the past. These spherules look like blueberries, only much larger, and they are scattered everywhere. Scientists at the University of Western Ontario assert that this cosmogenic rock, impactites, forms when cosmic bodies hit the surface or when a meteorite explodes. In this process, the material melts and acquires a rounded shape. Scientists have repeatedly suggested that there could have been water on Mars before, so why not consider substantial mineral evidence? This photo shoot has become legendary for its tales of a mysterious space wanderer, an alien spacecraft known as the Black Knight. It is said that this ancient spaceship has been orbiting Earth for thousands of years, and that NASA is hiding this from us. Other opinions suggest that this hoax was created by agencies to distract public attention from spy satellites and the space race rivalry. Meanwhile, a third perspective insists that this knight is indeed a spy agent, launched by the Soviet Union or the USA during the Cold War, and has since been monitoring Earth. Removing the ship from orbit is much more difficult than launching it, don't you think? This photograph, taken in 1998 from aboard the Endeavour during a NASA mission named STS-88, actually showed a piece of the so-called thermal blanket used to protect space instruments. It was lost during the mission. Numerous such objects drift in space, burning up when entering Earth's atmosphere. But one of the three or all opinions might be confirmed over time. Aliens, spies, or other dark secrets in space probably exist. The American fighter bomber F-18, nicknamed Hornet, is a fast and maneuverable machine, but not perfect enough to compete with unidentified flying objects in the sky. Repeatedly, pilots of these aircraft have reported strange lights and unexplained aerial phenomena. However, how many of these reports have been made public? And how many have settled in the desks of offices? Over the past decades, UFO observations have seen ups and downs because aliens have earthbound competitors in the form of drones and other technological advancements. As progress continues, cosmic phenomena also grace Earth with attention. Meteor showers, invasions of comet remnants, or other stellar activities have not disappeared. There's just much more interesting stuff now. But the facts remain. Fighter pilots see more than ground observers. In 1978, a young Australian pilot named Frederick Valentich was on a routine flight to King Island, but soon the flight ceased to be ordinary. The pilot reported to the Melbourne Aviation Bureau that he was being followed by an unidentified aircraft, a brightly glowing object with a metallic sheen. It seemed to move at tremendous speed, maneuvering in ways no modern aircraft could. Even more strange was that immediately after reporting the pursuit, the pilot mentioned engine troubles and then went silent. A haunting silence followed, and the plane disappeared. An extensive search lasting several days covered vast areas, but neither the pilot nor the plane was found. Was he captured by an alien spacecraft? And how can a flying plane be taken or destroyed without a trace? The hypothesis remains that the incident was related to a military event or secret government mission, but, alas, there are no updates. Another alleged alien observation involving a pilot. The name Kenneth Arnold became known because of his encounter with a UFO. In 1947, during a flight near Mount Rainier in Washington, Arnold reported that he saw 9 unusual objects in the sky, moving at a staggering speed in a wavy motion and resembling flat saucers. Does this description ring a bell? Yes, the term flying saucer was coined right then. His detailed report described the object as flat, shiny, and somewhat crescent-shaped, reflecting sunlight like a mirror. The news spread quickly, and this incident preceded the famous Roswell incident by just a few weeks, where debris of an extraterrestrial spacecraft was allegedly found. Arnold's encounter with the mysterious craft not only stirred curiosity, but also fueled discussions about the existence of unidentified flying objects, and his detailed report of the event included data about the astonishing speed, about 1,700 miles per hour. Multiply by about 1.5 and you get an unimaginable 2,700 kilometers per hour. Arnold's observations played a crucial role in popularizing UFOs and became a catalyst for many other reports. They literally poured in from different corners of the USA. Apparently, people were afraid to talk about it before, fearing they would be considered insane. But now, after the Loud case, they dared to share their experience. The government had to take measures to calm the public from mass hysteria, trying by all means to retract Arnold's observations and label them as erroneously identified natural phenomena. Whatever, but we're not out of our minds, and we see that it's neither lightning nor a plane. So the modern era of UFOs is almost a century old, and we are still unsure. Was it or wasn't it? Wasn't it or was it? On the night of February 24th, 1942, just after the attack on Pearl Harbor, something strange happened in Los Angeles. Sirens sounded and lights shone in the sky, but in the morning, no enemy planes were found. It was said to be a false alarm. Others claimed to have seen something, but who at that time could agree that the city was attacked by strange flying spheres or unidentified flying objects? To this day, what happened on the night of 1942 remains a mystery. Perhaps some grandparents can confirm that they saw it. Could you tell us about this event if you've heard anything? We're waiting for messages in the comments. This concludes our broadcast. If you liked the video and want to see something similar, maybe the next part, then comment, subscribe to Top Facts, and check out our previous top issues.